Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and these bits you can see on the desk in front of me are pretty much what's left of my fan assembly for the RX 580. Hopefully, what is in this box is going to solve my problem. Keep watching to find out if it does. Okay, so if you're a regular viewer of the channel, then you'll notice that the video that's playing up there at the moment is the video I did when I replaced the stock fans, or attempted to replace the stock fans on my RX 580. One of these fans died completely, so I thought I'd take it apart, and I ended up using some Arctic cooling fans, which came off of the Freezer 33 eSport edition. So I've strapped those to there in a kind of little bit of a ghetto manner, but hopefully now, I've received this in the post today. Now this has come from AliExpress. Now this is a pattern part, it's not the original part, but this is supposedly a direct replacement for the fans that came on the Power Color RX 580. So let's have a look and see if they're any good. Now first of all, the packaging looks pretty good. Now I was told actually that this was going to be 20 to 40 working days before they actually arrived. Now I placed the order probably about just over a week ago, and they're here already, so that's pretty good so far. These actually do look like they've been packaged pretty well. Quite impressed. And let's have a look. We'll try and get the fans side by side so we can see if they are going to be a compatible replacement. So far it looks pretty good, and it looks like we've got the right connector on there for the graphics card. And size wise, yep, identical. And the most important bit is the mounting lugs. Let's make sure those are correct. It looks like it is. And yeah, absolutely spot on. So exactly the same layout. They don't appear to be the same fans. They're a slightly different texture and a slightly different finish to them. But hey, as long as they work, that is all that I'm concerned with. So hopefully we'll be able to stick these in the bin. So the next thing for me to do is to take the card out of the machine, because it's actually in there at the moment. And we can take off the old fans and get these ones put back in, and get back to our OEM goodness. So I'm going to take it out now, and we'll be back straight after. Okay, so here we are. This is the card out of the machine. As you can see, it has been slightly cobbled together. So there are the two Arctic cooling fans, and we've got both of the cables running into a splitter, so I can plug that single 4-pin PWM into the motherboard to actually try and regulate fans. Now, as much as I tried, it didn't really work out as it was intended to. The fan speed tended to ramp up and down pretty much when it felt like it, because it wasn't taking a direct sensor reading from the GPU's core. So hopefully now, putting the original fans back in, it's going to regulate properly, and then hopefully reduce the noise when it's not being in use, and when playing games, obviously it's going to ramp up as it should do. So let's get these things taken off straight away. So that's the 4 screws for the shroud taken out, so we should be able to just lift this straight off now with the fans. And because we only modified this very, very slightly with 2 case fan screws and a little bit of sticky tape, this should come off pretty straightforward. Sticky stuff. Right, so they can go back onto the cooler. So we'll lose those for now. So that leaves us with the graphics card with the bare cooler. So now we need to attach the fans back into this. So let's work out the route for the wiring, which should be pretty much the same as it was originally. Which will take that under there. And we'll take that cable under there and tuck it underneath the heat pipe. And actually, I'll run that entire cable underneath through there. I can't believe I'm cable managing a graphics card. What have I come to? Now actually, I might be able to feed that directly underneath through there. Let's see if there's anything actually in the way. There's bound to be. I don't want to just ram it through, just in case I take off the head of any components which may be in the way. So maybe we'll just take it around the outside for now. Maybe if I take the heatsink off at some point in the future, I can then run the cables back underneath. I think that should do the trick. Okay, we can play around with that a little bit more when we get the shroud on, just to make sure any wires are out of the way. So now we've got 8 screws to put back in to attach the fans back into their proper places. And actually some of those cables have come out of there already. So we'll try and tuck those back in. These fittings can be a little bit fiddly sometimes, so if you're doing the same thing, try and get an adult to help you. Okay, so there we go. That was pretty simple and relatively simple, apart from the cable management. I guess because this is a kind of almost like a universal fit for a few different models of the power color cards, the wiring could do with being a little bit better and a little bit better thought out, but should do the job. So the shroud is now in place. From this side it actually looks okay. What about that side? That side, it's not the best. You've got a little bit of cable in there. It would have been nice if the cables were sleeved, but I suppose it's not the end of the world. I can probably tuck those in out of the way. So let's put the last 4 screws in for the shroud. So that's the first side done. These are fiddly little things. And just make sure the fans spin freely and they're not obstructed by the shroud in any way. So I think we are going to be able to tuck those cables in a little bit. So they're not the greatest, but I think it doesn't look too bad. Could be a lot worse. But at least now we've retained our OEM look, and even with the 2 extra holes that I put in at the bottom, again, it's not particularly the end of the world. Those holes, when it's in that position, you're never going to see it anyway. You're only going to see the outside of the GPU. So that was pretty straightforward, pretty painless. I didn't pull out any hair, which is fortunate because I don't have a lot to pull out. So best thing to do now is put this back in the PC, fire it up and see what the noise is like and see how the fan profiles actually cope. So stick it back in the PC. Okay, so we've got Far Cry 5 open, and I forgot that it doesn't work with the lighting service running from the Aurora sync, so I've had to disable that. Anyway, onward and upward. So I've got Riva Tuner running now, an MSI Afterburner, so I can see the temperatures of the GPU, and I'm about to run it now in the benchmark mode to see how it does. So you can see that while I press the button. Okay, so that was a pretty good test, and the card got up to about 70 degrees, which is not out of the normal specs for this type of card. So pretty happy with that. May have a play with the fan curves and MSI just to try and make it a little bit cooler. Obviously, taking into account the noise generated as well, I think around about 70 degrees is pretty good for that. And with the relatively lowish noise, I think I can live with it. So hopefully that's going to resurrect this card and stop it looking like a Frankenstein's monster. Like I say, there's going to be links in the description below, so if you want to get yourself a set of replacement fans for your broken graphics card, then feel free to do so. If you like this video and you like this content, click on the like button, and don't forget to consider subscribing to get more videos like this in the future. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.